Hello and welcome. This is Dave Meyer with BizzyWeb. Delighted to have you here as we talk about Social Media 101. This is our regular BizzyWebinar series, and every Wednesday, noon Central, you're welcome to tune in and join us. You can join us at buzzyweb.com/events. Thanks to all the folks that have come over to us from Constant Contact. I'm delighted to report that we have over 200 folks registered today for this event, so bear with us as we get things going. I'm going to go through just a few housekeeping details to get everybody up to speed to help you join and to ask questions. If you do have questions, we're going to have a couple of times during the call set aside for questions, and so I'm going to switch screens over to Internet or to Chrome just a second, and you'll note here that the event that you're probably viewing this from is included on the page. You can see that there's the event down here. If you would like to ask questions, click on this Google Plus link to join us on our Google Plus page. You'll note that from the Google Plus page, there's going to be a little button that says Q&A and Live. If you click that, it's going to actually open up a new screen, and I'm going to pause it because otherwise you're going to hear me talking to myself. And there we go. There, perfect. So you'll be able to see and ask questions from this page. There's one caveat here. You will have to have a Google account in order to ask questions. It'll ask you to log in. If you do have issues, we do have operators standing by at 612-424-9990, or click on the link in the broadcast page for more information. If you do want to ask a question, just click the green Ask a New Question button, and I'll type that here, ask a question here. And when you click that, I will see that, and I'll go through and I'll click and select which ones I'm answering as we go through the event. So as we move forward, that's how you'll ask questions. As a reminder, you'll just go into the event page. If you've gotten there from the BizzyWeb page, you'll just go into here and then you click on this link, the Google Plus page, to see this page. And when you click on the video that says Live Q&A, you'll be able to ask questions here. Thank you so much for joining us. And again, I'm Dave Meyer with BizzyWeb. Delighted to have you with us. So here we go. Here's me. And if we get a little bit of a chance later, I will actually take questions live and you'll be able to see the man behind the curtain. But here's how to get a hold of me if you do have specific questions. You can either reach me at dave.meyer@BizzyWeb, facebook.com/BizzyWeb, or Twitter @BizzyWeb. BizzyWeb is an email marketing and web design company. We build beautiful websites for our clients that are based in WordPress. And what we do that's a little bit different than most other online marketing companies is we integrate our web design with social media. When you publish to a BizzyWeb-powered website, that active publishing will automatically post your content to Facebook, LinkedIn, Twitter, Google+, and more, and that's what we're here to talk about. So let's get down to business. So why are we here? Today we're really here to help you to figure out that you don't have to be a marketing expert in order to be successful in social media. We've got a lot of folks that are on the call here, and so I'm sure that everyone in this room or everybody attending this webinar has differing degrees of expertise, but we're all experts at being social and at speaking with one another, so that's what you can focus on as we're building our social media connections. You're not alone. 54% of small businesses say that they need help with social media marketing. 57% of nonprofits say that they need help. And it's endemic. When I work with companies and when we help folks, we hear over and over again a number of concerns. And here's a few of them. Some of folks will say social media really looks interesting, but you'll never have millions of fans. Well, that's fine. It's not a big deal if you don't have millions of fans because you're trying to reach the people that you'll work with most often and most effectively. Using new marketing tools sounds great, but I don't know what to say. Well, we're going to show you what to say in social media today as part of what we're talking about. There's a 50, 30, 20 rule that we'll share with you in just a few moments. Reading what's being said sounds useful, but I'll never have a dedicated staff to do it right. Well, you don't have to have a dedicated staff. What you do need to have is a dedicated plan. And we're going to talk a little bit about that as we move through our talk today. And finally, I hear about new tools and networks every day, but I just don't have time to stay current. Well, that's why you work with companies like BizzyWeb and with Constant Contact, and stay involved with our BizzyWebinars by going to BizzyWeb.com/events. We'll keep you up to speed on what's happening. And last week, I actually talked on my BizzyWebinar, which is recorded on our YouTube channel, some of the big trends that I see in online marketing for 2015. So let's talk a little bit about where we've been. Back in 2008, only 10% of businesses thought about using social media marketing. Now, in 2013, the latest data that we have, 87% of folks are doing something in social media marketing. People are getting savvier, and they're helping to grow their businesses with the tools that are available like Facebook, LinkedIn, Twitter, Google+. What you do have is powerful. You don't have to have a massive online marketing component because you already have loyal and happy customers. If you're doing things right, you also offer an excellent customer experience. And of course, we all have interesting and important things to say. You are who you are, and the point of social networking is to share some of that information. So this is not rocket science. This is the same thing that you would do in any cocktail party. And as I'll share in a little bit, you want to adhere to some of those cocktail party rules as well, and not overindulge or overshare things, or get too salesy, because just like you wouldn't walk into a cocktail party and start selling to people and handing out business cards, you don't want to oversell your products, services, or offerings when you're interacting with people on social media. There's a time and a place, but only a very small percentage of your messaging should be inherently and overtly sales related. So what are we going to talk about today? Why use social media? We're going to go through the top 5 social networks, of course, and then we're going to go through how to say it and what you should say and how to get started. So let's roll right in. And as a reminder, be aware that you can ask questions at any time just by clicking in the Ask a Question tool live from the Google Hangout. If you're having questions or problems with that, you can dial us at our contact information. That's BizzyWeb.com/contact, or from BizzyWeb.com/events. You'll see some helpful information down at the bottom of that post to help you get going right away. First step, why use social media? Well, there's a lot of stuff that you should do, but social media for sure is easy and inexpensive. First, your competitors, of course, are social. As a matter of fact, 93% of nonprofits say that they're doing something with social media. Business to business, it's a little bit smaller than that. It's about 87%. And business to consumer, 86% of folks, our businesses, are actually using some sort of social media to interact with their clients and their customers. Next, even if your competitors are social, the big thing is that social media influences decisions. Say that 74% of folks rely on social networks to guide their purchase decisions. And if you look at this, you'll see it all the time on Facebook and LinkedIn and Twitter. People are asking questions all the time. Has anybody heard about, or do you have any recommendations for the different types of business purchases that they're making? 55% of those folks that are on social networks share their purchases on social networks, and 68% learn more about a charity if they see a friend posting about it. You'll see that a lot, and actually with the Ice Bucket Challenge with ALS, that went incredibly viral and was intensely successful with over $100 million raised over social media. So finding the right messaging and giving people a way to easily share that and to share their excitement about you, your products, services, or your company is a great way to use social media to its fullest. In general, engagement is now the new word of mouth. Instead of talking over the fence, we're now Facebooking and tweeting and emailing each other and pinning things back and forth. So as you look at this, social media is really the way we discuss things now, and we're all carrying mini computers in our pockets so we can share whenever and wherever we are. Let's talk a little bit about the customer experience using social media. You have your nice little business here, and you're doing a fantastic job, of course, so you provide a wow experience. When people look at that, they know that they love you and they want to share things with you. So in your marketing, you want to entice them to stay in touch. This is as easy as sharing something in an email marketing brochure to say, if you loved what we did, connect up for more. It could be on your receipts where you say, if you loved your experience today, share on Facebook or Google or Yelp. Give them a reason to connect. When you do social media right, you're going to engage folks and have conversations with them so that they're helping you grow your business and getting the word out. And those connections get back to your business. What that means from there is people get engaged and they love you and they want to talk to you, and engagement drives social visibility. So all of a sudden people are seeing that your clients, your fans, your connections love you, and they're talking about you, and then they see you, and of course that drives new prospects into your business. What social media can do, if used correctly, is amplify that great experience, that first wow. Make it as easy as possible for people to reach out and connect, reach out and continue to engage with people as they connect with you. And in my view, this isn't in the slides, but there's a 4-step process in all online marketing, and Engage is part of that. And it's the start. Inside of social media marketing, you should be engaging people by connecting, by reaching out to them, and informing them as the second step to give them the information that they need to take the next step with you. You want to capture their information and get them to connect with you and subscribe on social networks or certainly in your email marketing so that you can convert them into customers. So my 4 parts process in online marketing is engage, inform, capture, and convert. Let's get right into it and talk about those big networks, because that's why you're here today. And so here they are. What are the top social media networks? Well, here's the big 5. Facebook, LinkedIn, Twitter, Pinterest, and Instagram. Facebook, of course, as we know, there's almost 2 billion people on Facebook. LinkedIn has 400 million in it now. Twitter has about 300 million active users. Pinterest has about 150 to 200 million active users. Instagram very recently surpassed Twitter in active users with about 350 million. And now Google Plus is also in that mix, because Google created an answer to Facebook that, while it hasn't been as enticing as a social network in and of itself, Google Plus is the best way to help you rank better in Google search results by having shareable content that people connect with and share. I'll get into that in a little bit when we talk about Google Plus, but that's one of the killer tools in helping you rank better in search results online. So even if you don't use Google Plus as a social network, use it for your business, create a business page, and use some of those amazing tools that are available to you. Okay, let's go to the big daddy and talk about Facebook. The primary audience for Facebook is really everybody. So if you're talking to any slate of people, whether they're corporate, whether they're internal or external, whether they're nonprofit related or general in stature, Facebook is one of the places that you should be connecting. It's estimated that, well, the numbers are out, that there's 1.6 billion people on Facebook right now. About 400 million companies have specific pages. There's about 400 million business pages on Facebook, and the folks that are using it really well. There's been a lot of talk about EdgeRank and the fact that when you publish something on your Facebook business page, the likelihood that that's going to show up among the people that have already clicked like on your page, the likelihood that it's showing up is going down pretty dramatically. But what Facebook does offer is an amazing way to target people once you've captured their information and once you've decided what you're going to connect with. With Facebook, and specifically with boosted posts, you can reach out to the exact demographic that you're trying to reach. Whether you're trying to reach single parents that live within 5 miles of your municipality that have an interest in gardening, or you're trying to reach large corporate types who really love automotive repair and really enjoy skydiving. You can reach out to those people and connect with them via Facebook's Boost tools. When you're looking to engage with Facebook, you're looking for people that are interested in useful, interesting, and informative content. And this is kind of general across all markets, but you know, the more helpful, the more interesting, the more shareable you can be, the better off you're going to be with your Facebook experience. And it's really best for sharing text, photos, videos, and reaching a large audience. Those that have been involved with Facebook for a while will note and recognize that video is one of the new killer tools for Facebook. And as a matter of fact, videos now autoplay when they're browsed in the timeline. And so as you're scrolling up and down, whether it be on your web browser, on your computer, or on your phone, videos will autoplay. There's no audio unless you actually tap on that video. But if you have something that's interesting and engaging, and if you can get that video to display for the right people, it can be an incredibly engaging experience. And really the next step for that is Instagram, and we'll talk about that in a little bit. But if you're trying to reach a large audience and connect with them, take the extra step. Don't just type posts in Facebook, but go ahead and reach out to the exact people that you're trying to reach and give them helpful information, including video and images. The more interesting you can make it for people that are casually browsing with the flip of their thumb on their mobile device, the better off you're going to be. Who uses it? Business to business, business to consumer, and nonprofits are making tremendous inroads using Facebook. So as we go, and if you do have specific questions, again, this is a reminder to go ahead and use that Q&A tool to reach out. If we do have some issues or have some folks that want to get questions answered, I am setting aside a little bit of time at the end of the call or of the webinar to discuss your questions. So be sure to hammer those through for us, because this is your time, and BizzyWeb and myself are very excited to help you with that. Let's go to the next network, LinkedIn. LinkedIn is best for business, those looking for industry news, tips, and solutions. And really, the way to get the most benefit out of LinkedIn is to create a business page for your company and use your personal brand to feed that company brand through helpful tips, thought leadership, industry information. And really, most people that are on LinkedIn are connecting B2B. They're looking to find great connections, great lead sources for connections with their business, and just perhaps to find new people for their organization. So if you're in the HR field or any business services business, LinkedIn is probably going to be one of the best bets that you've got, aside from Facebook, which is the granddaddy of social media right now. If you're trying to reach corporate types, LinkedIn is for you. Twitter has a completely different audience. It's primarily young adults. It's folks that are comfortable with their thumbs as a form of communication. If you look at Facebook or Twitter stats, a lot of or most of the messages that are sent on Twitter are sent via mobile devices. So this is all content that's designed to be shared in the moment, immediately. You'll notice that there are hashtags or little hash marks or the pound sign with a specific code after almost everything in popular media right now. And so it's a way for people to interact and connect and share little snippets of information. Maybe it's a thought, maybe it's a helpful tidbit, anytime and anywhere. Twitter is absolutely a volume posting medium. By that I mean you should be posting often and always if you'd like to have a good solution or a good result using Twitter. You have to think about the news stream and how fast that stream goes. I'm relatively small on social, on Twitter in particular. I only have about 1,800 followers. But with that, with the people that I follow and connect with, if I'm visiting and viewing my news feed and I hit refresh on that news feed, over the course of a minute, I'll get another 20 to 100 new posts on Twitter. So with Twitter, you can post more often, and you may wish to use a frequent posting tool or a online marketing tool like Hootsuite or some of the tools that we can offer through social media and through Constant Contact to help you reach out on a consistent basis. And you will probably want to post several times for any given post that you would do on Facebook. So if you're going to post once a day on Facebook, you might want to consider posting in the morning, afternoon, and evening on Twitter, because people are viewing that in their timeline, and it's just a lot more noise. Businesses to consumer markets are mostly using Twitter, and nonprofits. You know, the B2B market uses Twitter as helpful thought leadership, but really the best news is, or the best updates are shared via small little tidbits and updates, interesting information, and just curating some of the behind-the-scenes things to what you do. Give people your story on Twitter. Okay, let's get a little bit more graphic, and let's talk about Pinterest. Pinterest is fantastic for crafty or visual media. So the primary audiences tend to be women, foodies, and crafters. So folks that have interesting things to share. If you have a product, or if you have t-shirts that you sell, or if you're a craftsman and you wanted to share the imagery and the ideas behind the things that you do, Pinterest is something that you should absolutely check out. It's great for photos, it's great for videos, products, and tips. What it's not really amazing for is content that has to be explained via text. So if you have bullet point related material, if you have information that has a lot of text in it, it's not great just for slapping up a brochure onto Pinterest, because people aren't going to click it or pin it. But if you can share, in particular, infographics and images that share a lot of information and that people might be willing to or interested in saving for later, Pinterest is something you should consider. It's really a visual medium, so if your business doesn't trade or share information relating to videos or images, if you don't have something tangible that you can take pictures of, it's going to be a tougher sell to get that up on Pinterest. So accountants and lawyers and doctors are probably going to have more difficulty in Pinterest having a great following, but if you can reach out and connect with as many people as possible in a real way and give them some of the behind the scenes. One of my favorites on Pinterest is a home inspector. And you wouldn't think that home inspectors would get a lot of following on Pinterest. It's kind of an analytical trade. But what these folks have done is they've shared the most egregious examples of bad stuff that they've found as they've been browsing or visiting homes and checking out the behind the scenes. So, for example, homes that are propped up by rotten 2x4s, or people that have light switches that are hung together by kite string, and other related completely crazy things. Pinterest is wonderful for that. Another thing that, or Pinterest and Etsy really go hand in hand, as well as any e-commerce related marketing that revolves around products that are visual. So we have clients at BizzyWeb that sell doodads and gigas and various crafty kind of materials. Pinterest is amazing for that because people are looking through trying to plan their projects, and then they'll pin those items to their boards for future use. Pinterest, as a matter of fact, drives more traffic to websites than LinkedIn, Twitter, and YouTube combined. So that's a fantastic medium for getting content and getting people to visit your website. Next up, and kind of the newcomer on the block, is Instagram. Instagram is really targeted at young adults and folks that are sharing in a visual medium. Instagram is all about the look. It's all about glitz, glimmer, and shine. Basically, with Instagram, you can take a picture or a video, apply filters to it to make it look old-timey or super saturated, or make it look like it was taken on a dance floor somewhere. And with one button, you can share that. So what I've heard from my millennial friends is that a lot of folks will tend to tweet comments and thoughts or post on Facebook so that they can keep their family up to date. But when they really want to share something, they might post 10 or 15 images to either Twitter or Pinterest or via Snapchat, for example, and then they'll select one image that sums the entire experience up, and they'll post that on Instagram. So if you're trying to reach the young audience, the folks that are connecting up and that are sharing things visually, and again, if you have visual media to share, Instagram would be a great way to connect and to reach out. Instagram, as an aside, is owned by Facebook, so there's a lot of connections and considerations there, and a lot of the videos and images that are on Facebook are driven by Instagram. But Instagram, in and of itself and by itself, is a great way to connect in a real way with people that share products, services, and ideas visually. B2C is, of course, the best way for that because that tends to be the most visual medium. So if you haven't tried Instagram and you're looking for a great way to reach out to people in the younger audience, that would be a great way to take for a next step. And finally, and number 6, for those keeping tabs at home, Google+. Google Plus gets kind of a bad rap, and it's said that men, students, and software developers are the ones that use Google Plus the most. However, there's well over 1 billion people that have a Google Gmail account, and for a long while there, Google Plus was being pushed very heavily by anyone that, or to anyone that had a Gmail account. So there's a good chance if you publish anything on Google Plus, you'll be able to reach out to those folks that have those Gmail accounts and that may be using or may have checked out Google Plus at one point or another. I wouldn't stake everything on Google Plus unless you're specifically trying to reach out to a more techie crowd, but there's some amazing tools that are available in Google Plus. Among those, Google Hangouts, and you're on a Google Hangout on air right now. If you have a lot of connections or if you have a lot of product demos or things that you'd like to share with your clients, perhaps if you wanted to do tours of your facility or share anything via YouTube, when I'm done publishing or when I'm done talking at this webinar, I'm going to be able to click with one button that I'm done with the webinar, and that act of finishing my post is going to automatically publish this webinar on my business YouTube page. Didn't do anything else, and BizzyWeb actually has about 125 now videos on YouTube as a direct result of our weekly Bizzy webinars. So if you're trying to get out there and reach out to technical people, and if you enjoy the benefits of search engine optimization, because this is Google's baby, and if you publish links to your website on Google+, that's what Google calls a spark, and that's a very strong indicator of quality to Google that you've got great content, especially if people are +1ing or sharing your content from inside of that posts. So B2B, B2C, and nonprofits are using this. There's a lot of really fun tools on Google+. If you haven't checked it out before, I'd highly recommend it. Again, don't bet the farm on it, but tools like AutoAwesome, Hangouts, and all of the Google My Business tools that are available now are a fantastic way to really reach out. So let's look at this, and of course, if you're interested in this, next week I'm covering this in more detail and going into a Social Media 102 course that's going to talk about all of these and how to use them for business a little more. So let's go on to the next thing. To recap, here's a chart of all the social networks and what they're really good for. Again, to go through this, Facebook is great for everybody. You want to share text, photos, and links on Facebook, and your goal should be to increase visibility, to engage people, and to reach out to a large audience. If you're trying to reach out to a large amount of people, and especially if you're in the B2C world, that's a great way to go. LinkedIn is business focused. If you're trying to reach out to folks that are in corporations or that have corporate roles inside of organizations, that's a great way to start. You're going to want to share news, product info, testimonials, and behind the scenes information designed to integrate and reach out to your best referral partners via LinkedIn. Thought leadership groups and comments are a fantastic use of LinkedIn. Twitter, again, is E for everybody. It's small snippets of information, so you're going to want to share news, text-based information, anything that fits into 140 characters or less, and you're going to want to use and integrate with hashtags or small snippets and codes of information to connect. You want to be careful with Twitter because you can get in trouble if you latch onto the wrong hashtag, but do a little bit of research before you post, and don't be afraid to overshare on Twitter. Pinterest allows crafty folks, mostly women, to give a give a lot of content and to share visual information. Pin photos, videos, and images of your content for best results, and share how-tos, product photos, and other visual info for best use on Pinterest. Instagram is one of the best ways to reach out to young adults. And if you have photos of people, and in particular products or services, anything that's good with a filter on top is going to be shared well on Instagram. Link to your products, link to your websites, do likes and comments, other fun help. And then finally, Google+. IT and marketing folks is great for. If you want to get found on the web, Google+ must not be ignored. Share text, photos, and links. Use the Auto Awesome feature. Try out Hangouts, and get out there. It's fantastic for better SEO and for building your reputation. So, what do you say is the next thing. What do you do now that you know what these networks do, and how do you reach out, and what do you connect with? So let's start out and go here. On all of these connections, what you want to do is look at the 3 top things that you should be trying to do. First is you should be trying to get likes, shares, and comments. This is about half of what you're going to want to do. You're going to want to curate your audience, connect with people, help grow your audience and who you're reaching out to. So you're going to want to be connecting with people, entertaining, invite folks with conversation, ask questions, provide images and video. After that, 30% is being useful and informative. This is the engage and inform. The engage is the 50%, inform is about 30%. Give people a glimpse behind the scenes. Tell them why you're an expert by sharing some of your expert information. You don't have to give away the farm, but help them with industry tips. Here's 3 things that you need to know if you're going to do business with me. Here's 3 things I wish my customers knew before they called me. Here's 1 thing that everyone needs to do before they donate to our nonprofit. Give folks that type of information, and you'll be very well off. The final 20% should be about you and your business. This is going to be a call to action, not necessarily a buy now. Inside of this, I'd say about half of those calls to action can be a specific buy now or action that's inherently promotional. People don't want to get hit over the head with sales-related messaging. Again, think of this as a cocktail party. You want to be interesting, and as you look through what we do in a cocktail party, half of what we're doing is conversation and just connecting with people, meeting folks, shaking hands. 30% is involved in those conversations and sharing helpful and interesting anecdotes. And then 20% is telling people what to do next. Don't be afraid or ashamed to ask people to take that next step, but don't focus on buy this all the time when you're using social media. This is something that people make a huge mistake with all the time in social media. Nobody wants to be sold on social media, but what you want to do is converse with them and engage them until they're almost asking, well, what do I do? And then you tell them, well, I'm glad you asked, and here's how to take the next step. So inside of that, here's some examples of what that 50%, what the entertain, inviting conversations, asking questions is like. So, for example, fill in the blank. I'm thankful for blank as a small business owner. And then let people fill that in. Again, you don't want to be overly glib in these or too silly. Make sure that it relates to your business or that it relates to a real need. So I see a lot of business owners that are too frilly on this, and they'll post things that have no relation to their business and that are sometimes a little silly. That's okay once in a while, but make sure that you're curating and adhering to the brand of your business and to the personality that your company has. So if you're a very corporate company, focusing on the 3 wackiest things that happened over X might not be a good strategy for you. Here's something that happened over Turkey Day. Components of my Thanksgiving dinner were purchased locally. I'm thankful for businesses and Thanksgiving leftovers. This is from Small Business Saturday. Constant Contact actually published this one. I thought it was really cool. Some EE cards is a great tool for that. It lets you very simply curate your own imagery or grab something on your own and just publish that. Again, it's a visual medium and it's interesting and it's helpful. Another option would be a list. So to create content people want to share, your content should entertain, have value, create a sense of scarcity, elicit emotion, and 5. What do you think number 5 should be? So again, you're inviting conversation, you're asking people for their help. As a side benefit, you just might be surprised at what people will say and get information that's helpful to you and your business in the process. Finally, success isn't just about what you accomplish in your life, it's about what you inspire others to do. This is just an image. This was interesting, thought-provoking. You're just trying to elicit the culture of your organization, provide and add to the conversation, and think about it as you're browsing Facebook, for example, and look through what are the things that are most interesting to you as you're flipping with your thumb on your phone, browsing your Facebook while you're in line at the grocery store. So look at that and think about it, and that should be about half of what you do. Next, the 30%, the industry information, the hints and tips, and curating content with other folks. So here's a couple of examples in that vein. Understanding EdgeRank to maximize your page's reach. Give people a brief tour of what to do, and this is a infographic that was posted on this page. It includes rank updates and how to take care of things, what to do. This is information pertaining and helpful to your customers. Here's another one. Hot diggity, did you hear the news? U.S. consumers spent $5.5 billion shopping small last Saturday. Again, related to Small Business Saturday. So information, industry info, and tips. This is where your news or stats relevant to your profession are going to come into play. Next up, holiday tip. Help your businesses stand out. So giving people information, helpful news, things that help them do business with you more easily and give them a glimpse behind the curtain as to what it's like to be you, and by that proxy, they'll understand that you're an expert in what you do. Finally, what do you say? And here's some examples in that. Again, you want to focus on calls to action, not buy now. So here's a couple of examples. Are you or your small business on Instagram? We are. Check out our new profile. So again, they're not asking you to buy. They're saying check out something. Click here, follow us here, do this is what you're asking people to do. In front there, we always welcome customer feedback to help us improve our product and services. When it comes to Save Local, you spoke and we listen. So again, look at what's new, and that's a link to your website to get people to take that next step. Another example, and again, this is Unwrap Big Savings this Cyber Monday. This is your purchase link. And again, about half of that 20%, about 1 in 10 publishes or posts can be inherently sales related to avoid burning people out or turning them off. Nobody wants to be sold in social media. So making sure that you give them that opportunity. And if you've built a good relationship with people, they're going to be asking how they can take the next step and what they can buy. That's when you give them the answer and you give them a link. So how about some content ideas? When you look at questions to ask when you're thinking about your content and your strategy, here's 3. First, what's new at your business and organization? Share that news. Did you have an anniversary? Did somebody at your business do something significant? Did you just close a big piece of business that you're very excited about? anything that you would be interested in or sharing in a business networking group, you're going to want to share as part of content. So how about this? Give them an example. What did you do recently to help someone achieve success? The idea of examples and case studies is very, very helpful and very easy to share in social media. So here's where we really save the day. Ideally, you would have that come from that customer's perspective, or ask them to give you that note and say, another tip from satisfied customer Bob, blah, 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 and share that information. And what advice have people been asking you for lately? You are the expert in your field, and that's why people want to do business with you. We have to be careful and always continue to try to break ourselves from the old sawhorse of trying to always be ourselves and always focus on what we want and what we do. I see a ton of business websites that focus on themselves and the fact that they've been in business for 20 years, that they've been doing X, Y, or Z, or that they're experts in this. People don't care about you. What they care for is how you can help them with what you can provide. So the old adage is, people that sell drill bits don't actually sell drill bits. What they really sell is holes. What's the hole that you fill for your customer? Work on that and give them advice to take the next step. Here's an example from Donna's Gourmet Cookies. This is what she's doing. She's posting a bunch of information, and so you see at the top of this one it says, yep, we have them, the cookies at the bottom. So as we scroll up here, people are connecting up, they're asking questions, and that's what you see. You see people saying, you know, they look delicious, I love, love, love sending that pic. Great way to reach out. You're just sharing little bits of information that you're excited about in your business. Note that she's not saying, buy our cookies, half off now. You know, you won't get any carbs from our cookies if you buy them in the next 10 minutes. That's not the point. What the point is to share why people should be excited with you. Somebody said, or somebody posted, yep, we have them, and 10 people liked it. Next up, those look adorable. Since they're from Donna's, I'm sure they taste even better than they look. That's what's called social proof. And if people connect up and if they publish, you'll see that that's probably one of the best ways to get to that next action and have people begging and crawling for more. As a matter of fact, the comment that came underneath that is, where's Donna's located? I'd love to order them, or order some. So let's go through another exercise here. Let's think about something that you could share this week that's entertaining and that invites conversation. Take a think about it. If you want to post in the Q&A tool and offer that up, just say, here's something that I would do. And next up, what's something you could share this week that's about your industry, hints or tips, or that's curated. Curated means something that you found on the web elsewhere. And a word about curated content, you don't want to plagiarize, but it's okay to borrow if you attribute your content to the people you got it from. So it could be as simple as putting in parentheses, hat tip and a link to the website you got it from, or you could, even better, publish something and just link back to the website that you found that helpful tidbit of information on and give them the credit for that. The more we share, the more we contribute. You know, it's the go-giver philosophy. The more you give, the more you're going to get. Be as useful and as helpful and share as much cool stuff as you're comfortable, again, without giving away the farm, but give people that understanding that you're the expert. Finally, what's something you could share this week about your business, but that's not necessarily about a buy now? So do you have an event that you want people to come to? Do you have a page that you'd like them to check out to register for more information? Ideally, do you want them to sign up for your email newsletter so that you can connect and engage, inform, capture, and convert them into what you want them to do? So we know all this. Here's what our content should be. think about that. You may want to jot that down, or for the folks that are good at this, if you're on a Mac, just do Command-Shift-4 to take a screenshot of this, or if you're on a PC, do Alt Print Screen, copy it into another tool. Again, this is also going to be saved to YouTube so that you can go back to this for more later. So let's get started. What do we need to do? How can you work with it? Here's a few things to do in order to start. I would probably just start with Facebook. If you haven't set up a Facebook page, and a lot of folks have, but start with a new social network that you haven't played with. If you haven't done anything, I'd start with Facebook no matter what. It's just the biggest network. It's easy. They've spent a ton of time making it as interactive and as easy to integrate with as possible. So there's a good chance that if you're on Facebook, you're going to see some results. First step inside of that is to create your page. There's a difference between pages and profiles. Your profile is what you had when you signed up with Facebook. If you've never been on Facebook at all, first you need to set up a profile, and that is you. That is Bob Smith. That is Dave Meyer. That is you, and you're going to want to set up with your personal information, share as much as you're comfortable with, get a picture of yourself, and get some content and contact information up there about you, just who you are, what you do, where you live, and you can set your privacy settings very, very stringently if you'd like, and I would encourage you to first lock down a little bit more on Facebook, as a matter of fact. Second point is then, after you have your profile up, go to facebook.com/pages to create that business profile for yourself. It's very easy to do. It's probably a 10-minute process, but you're just going to go in there, you're going to fill out your business info, and you're going to add a logo and a cover photo. Your cover photo needs to be sort of horizontal, can't have too much text on it, can't be overly promotional. Your logo should be your company. If you're unlucky and you have a very horizontal or a very vertical logo, you may want to work with your graphic designers to come up with some resemblance of your logo that's square, because you're going to need it across all social networks. But make sure that it's identifiable in a very, very small format. Think about this, that people are browsing Facebook on 4-inch screens that they're holding 1.5 feet away from their head, or 3 feet away from their head if they're farsighted. And you want to make sure that people can understand and see that it's you at a glance. So BizzyWeb, we have a kind of a horizontal logo. For all of our social networks, we just have our mascot, Buzz, as our profile logo. Number 2, after you get that page set up, tell everybody you're there. Biggest and of course best, as far as we're concerned, since we're talking in constant contact, is email marketing. Send out a note to all of your audiences, to all of your networks, and tell them, hey, we're on Facebook, or we're on Instagram, or we're on whatever new network you've set up, and tell them what you're going to share and why they should care via that link. Be sure to make a post or put up something in your store or your office. If you go to the BizzyWeb home headquarters in Minneapolis, you'll see that there's a Facebook button or a Facebook badge right on our front door. People understand and can see, follow us on Facebook right away. On our homepage, on our website, it says Facebook, and it gives you a link, and we have content linking people back to Facebook all the time. Your website, of course, I just talked about. That's the easiest way to integrate and interact. When you set up a website correctly, you can set up your website to automatically publish to social networks. That's a great strategy for broadcasting the most important content for your business to as many networks as possible. But BizzyWeb can set up your website so that it'll automatically publish any news from your site to Facebook, LinkedIn, Twitter, Google+, and Pinterest, all with one click. Make sure that you're covering that on events, that you're telling people how to get there, and then on everything that you do, make sure that you publish up, including on your business cards, and reaching out. And you'll see on this Social Ribbit page, they've got links across the board. Some people are Twitter folks. Some people are really into Google+. Some folks are huge on Instagram. Give them an easy-to-click button to take them to their network of choice, And if you're consistent and creative in what you do on all of those networks, you're going to see results. Next up, just start posting. If you haven't tried something, this is what, when people ask me how on earth I got involved with social media and online marketing, you kind of just have to be a professional tinkerer. I love goofing around with new technology. I love experiencing new ways to connect with people, and I've made that into a career. So look at this and just get content out there. Measure what you do and see if you get a huge amount of response or results. There's a bunch of ways to do that, and we'll cover this in 102, but you're going to want to start measuring the type of results that you get whenever you post. And so you may want to try posting a specific type of information 3 different days of the week and measure what the results are on those different days. And then once you find your best day, measure 3 different times during the day. Common wisdom has that most social media posts should be made between 10 a.m. on Tuesday and 3 p.m. on Thursday. So Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday between 10 a.m. and 3 p.m. or so in your local time zone. But you may have a significant market that doesn't check their phones or doesn't check their social networks until after work. So in that case, it might make a lot more sense to publish something at 6 p.m. on a Friday in order to reach out. A lot of restaurants and a lot of nonprofits see a lot better results after hours and when people are already in their leisure time. Pay attention to the 50-30-20 rule. Again, half of your content should be engaging and interacting. 30% of your content should be helpful tips, tricks, and information. And then 20% should be a specific call to action, getting them to do something. Use the 3 questions that we talked about and ask your audience for more. As we move forward here, I'm going to take you through an example week of Facebook posts. So let's look at this. On day 1, you may want to just do, for example, a Monday motivation quote. Here's what's going on. Connect out with people. See what happens. And again, measure that. If people respond to it, do it again next Monday. Tuesday at noon, did you know? Or check out these tips. Again, this hits into that 30% zone. Wednesday in the morning, fill in the blank, and then have them do something. Ask something that, again, relates to your business or to your industry or to common interests of your best customers. And then Thursday, give it a shot and say, having a sale this weekend. Again, that's a call to action. That's your 20%. This is kind of bridging into the 10% because it's trying to sell something. Finally, Friday at noon, here's a fun fact. People are goofing off. They're thinking about things. You want to be more lighthearted in general right into the weekend. And then what the heck? Give yourself a glass of wine to celebrate. It's much healthier for you than beer, and it's still booze. So, hey, have fun. Now, you fill it out. Again, this may be that space where you want to take a screenshot of this. Command-Shift-4 if you're on a Mac, Alt print screen if you're on a PC, or just remember this time at approximately 53 minutes in to go back on the YouTube video and to grab this. Fill out your own. And then there's some simple tools that you may want to connect with. There's free and low-cost tools like Plan Weekly, the simple share buttons. Maybe Hootsuite would be your deal. There's tools out there like Market Me Suite. Beyond scheduled posts, you can set up searches with some of these, and you can monitor what others are saying. Constant Contact actually has a great way to integrate with Facebook in particular, so look into that. And if you opt in for the online marketing portion of the toolkit in Constant Contact, there's a lot of great tools available. Finally, set aside 3 to 5 times a week and 20 minutes at a time to get started in social networking. If it doesn't work for you, you may want to back off of that. If it does start working with you or for you, then start doing a little bit more. It makes it a lot easier if you made $500 in sales to spend an extra half hour on it than if you don't know. So be sure that you measure and engage. To get more followers, follow your best customers and engage with them. In Twitter in particular, it's easy to make searches and to reach out to your best customers. With Twitter, you want to follow as early and often as possible. It's a little bit tougher with other networks, but do some searches and engage with people to connect with them. Ask them questions, post links. Don't be big brothery or creepy, but just post up some information that's helpful. Add social links to everything, your email signature, your website, any marketing campaign that you do. Give people a way to click and join you, to follow you on Facebook, to follow you on Instagram, to follow your boards on Pinterest, and to link up with you and follow your company page on LinkedIn. Make it easy to share. There's easy tools on Facebook and in your website that BizzyWeb can help you with to do likes or shares. Same thing in email marketing. Constant Contact has brilliant tools for sharing built right in. And then once you get all that set up, run that social campaign. Give it a shot, publish something out, reach out, connect up. It's easy to do, but you got to try it. There's like-gated content. You have to be a little bit careful with this because Facebook is changing some of their like-gate stuff, but you can do free downloads, discounts or offers. The trick is don't offer what you're offering via that campaign anywhere else, and use email to get more traffic, visits, and likes. Facebook may be turning the screws on this a little bit, but there's nothing to say that you can't reach out via targeted emails to get more followers, likes, and connections to grow your personal brand and your network in social media. In summary, here's where we're at. First, decide which social sites are right for you. When in doubt, start with Facebook. Next up, schedule out your posts and plan weekly. Set aside 20 minutes 3 to 5 times a week and make it easy for people to find you. And then if you get crazy about this, once you're happy with where you're at, consider running a social campaign to really get some results, because the wider net that you're casting and the more folks you're talking to, the better off you're going to be. All right, here's where we're at. Let's go to the next step, and here's what you can do. This is an example of Constant Contact. The toolkit tools inside of here make all of this stuff incredibly easy, and Constant Contact's toolkit for up to 500 folks, it's $45 a month. It's the best investment you are going to make. I used to provide a lot of other social or email marketing tools. They can't touch us in value, and they can't touch us in usefulness. You actually get real people with Constant Contact, and that's what really did the leverage for me. And so the Constant Contact toolkit is just amazing. Makes it super easy to reach out. And to get you started, I have a special offer. Start a Constant Contact account by January 23rd. That's a week from Friday. And we're going to give you a free template design based off of your website. That's a $199 value. Just go to BizzyWeb.com/cc for details. Again, that's BizzyWeb.com/cc. Check that out. Take us up on it. It's an amazing opportunity. All of this is available for $45 a month. If you want to get started, you can do $20 a month for just email, but if you want to get all the meat and have some help with social media, be able to run events, do surveys, and do some contact management, $45 a month for up to 500 contacts, and then it's a pittance beyond that. Like most of our clients are under $60 a month in Constant Contact. That's the way to go if you're serious about your marketing. And it's so easy to spend money in marketing that just is wasted. Postcards or other tools. Just go and do this. You'll thank me later. There's a free trial. As soon as you pay for it, you're going to get that template. So go ahead and give it a shot. Here's an example of what's included. You get campaigns, plus campaigns, contact management and list building tools, coaching and support, and image and file storage, all the way down to autoresponders. If somebody signs up for a message, you can send them something back automatically. That's all wrapped up in Constant Contact's toolkits. In summary, reminder about what BizzyWeb does. First, we're a web design company that focuses on integrating social media with your website. We offer search engine optimized sites that allow you to publish to all of your networks with a single click. When you publish on your WordPress powered website through BizzyWeb, you'll automatically post your content to Facebook, LinkedIn, Twitter, Google+, and Pinterest with one click. If you're already on WordPress but you want to do it right, we can host your website for you as well. Hosting packages start at $300 a year and include 3 hours of service and support, monitoring, and some tools that you can't get anywhere else. We do online marketing, including, of course, Constant Contact. And as a reminder, join us every Wednesday. Next Wednesday, we're going to be talking about Social Media 102, Your Social Now What? And then subscribe by going to BizzyWeb.com/events, and we'll keep you in the loop about all this stuff. If you send an email with a registration link, you can actually ask us questions in advance. Finally, if you'd like to know more, visit BizzyWeb.com/buzz to request your free Buzz report. If you would like to have an automatic or to get an interview included with that where we'll actually talk to you and run this down, that does cost $50, but we have a free tool that we'll offer you to give you an idea of where you're at and where to go by going to BizzyWeb.com/buzz and requesting a Buzz report. Again, I am Dave Meyer with BizzyWeb. Thank you so much for joining us. We're right at the hour line, so I want to be careful with your time. And thank you so very much. I'm going to hang on for just a couple of moments and answer some questions. I see that LI is a complete pain to use for blogging and sharing info and doesn't integrate. Oh, LinkedIn, yes. More steps. It is a great new time suck. Thank you, James. You can import contacts from LinkedIn to Google+. There's some tools that we'll need to do with that. Just give us a note or send us a call and we'll help you with that. And while driving followers in all of these and asking them, how can we otherwise drive visibility and followers? Understand the content you want to be part of, but is there another way? So in order to easily reach out organically, the best way is just to set aside a little bit of time and start posting and take advantage of what you're doing already in your daily life and share that content. So it doesn't exactly answer it directly, but James, I would encourage you to give us a call so that we can have a more in-depth conversation. My number is 612-424-9990, or you can send an email to us. I already had my note on there at dave.meyer@BizzyWeb.com, but give us a call. And if you already have a Constant Contact account, we will, of course, automatically, or we will still help you with that form. We'll have to take over your account in order to do that for us, and that's where we can go from there. What are the pros and cons of using non-business pins and boards on your B2C Pinterest and how effective are sales? Very great question. And B2C Pinterest boards are pretty darn effective in connecting out and reaching out to folks. The key that you want to remember is that it has to be visual and it has to be interesting. With Pinterest in particular, you want to make sure that you're reaching out to folks in a real way and helping them to see and get a flavor for what it's like to either purchase that product or use your tools or connect up with you. Emmett said, is it possible to have a business and a personal Facebook account? Of course, and absolutely it is. And you need to start with a personal account, and then you set up a page on top of that. You don't want to set up a business profile for your business because that's what pages are for. You can get in a lot of trouble with Facebook for doing that, and I've had clients get banned for doing it the wrong way. So the right way is set up a profile and then create a business page. All right, we have a lot of questions here, and I've answered them very, very lightning fast, but we're at a little bit past the hour here, and I want to be careful with your time. So please do send us additional notes. At the bottom of our post, you'll see that there's a talk to us. You can submit a question that way, or simply send a note in. Easiest way is probably sales@BizzyWeb.com. But again, remember, BizzyWeb.com/CC for Constant Contact to request that special offer for the $199 deal to get a free template created for your business. Again, I'm Dave Meyer with BizzyWeb. Thank you so much for joining us. I'll give you a glimpse at the man behind the curtain here. Hi, I'm Dave, and thank you very much for joining us. And remember to join us next time for Social Media 102. And also remember that at BizzyWeb, we help you generate buzz without getting stung. Have a fantastic week, and we'll talk to you next time.